fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. Phantom figure of the plains has become a legend throughout the western United States. The record of his stirring deeds has been handed down, not through the written pages of history, but by word of mouth from generation to generation. Wherever the masked rider of justice rode, adventure went with him. And now the danger trail is brought to life once more. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come along, Silver! Stretch out those great legs of yours! We must bring Bart Colt to justice! Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
As Silver raced by, we heard the Lone Ranger say that Bart Colt's gang must be captured. In the first scene of our Lone Ranger drama, we see Bart and his men as they ride toward the town of Brown's Crossing. They are following a seldom used trail after an attack upon the ranch of old Zach Andrews. Bart is speaking.
Well, if this scheme works, we're going to make us more money than we ever made before.
Yeah.
How much cash we get at old Zach's place, Jim?
Close to $1,000 in gold and folding money, boss.
Besides the stock, the rest of the boys run up in the hills. $1,000 in cash, a couple of $1,000 worth of beef critters. Ain't a bad day's work.
It sure ain't.
But if Dave Sanders does what I figure he'll do, that won't be nothing to what we lay our hands on before the day's over.
You think you was fooled, Bart?
Never seen a fellow was fooled more.
And he was mad enough to believe anything.
Are you tied up, Dave, the way I told you to?
It won't take him 10 minutes to get them ropes off of him. He's probably hightailing for town right now as fast as a horse can take him there.
When he gets to town, they tell his brother we're riding to Silver Springs to raid the bank.
There's just one thing, boss.
Yeah, what's that?
Well, Dave was fooled, all right, when Blackie said we was heading for Silver Springs. When you acted as though you was mad at Blackie for talking too much, he was eating it up. But even though the sheriff is Dave's brother, you can't be sure he's going to believe Dave's story.
Well, why not?
Well, boss, you know as well as I do that the folks in this county is beginning to think that maybe Dave is in our gang.
They oughter. I fixed it to look that way, didn't I?
Yeah, but if they think he's one of us, they ain't going to credit anything he says.
Jim's right, boss. That's where you're both wrong. It just goes to show I'm the boss of this bunch instead of one of you fellas.
We don't mean to tell you your business, boss.
I suppose you let me do the scheming for this outfit.
Oh, sure, boss, sure.
You know I've been trying to have the sheriff lose his badge.
Yeah?
The sheriff thinks a heap of his brother.
Sure he does.
Well, things are coming out just the way I'd planned. Dave will go to town and tell the sheriff his story. You say he overheard us planning to raid the bank at Silver Springs.
You'll do that, all right.
It's going to look funny to old Zach and his men when he sees we didn't harm Dave none.
That's just what I was saying.
But here's the point. No matter what other folks think, the sheriff is going to back up his brother.
Yeah.
He'd be dead sure we're going to Silver Springs. He get a posse together and ride over there as fast as he can.
Only we won't be there.
That's just it. As
soon as the posse leaves town, we're riding in.
And cleaning the town out.
We're going to get everything there is to get. Hold up the bank, we'll take what we want from the stores and help ourselves with what's in the cafe. We'll get money and food and liquor and all the ammunition we need.
That'll be a good one.
And then you know what's going to happen with the sheriff and Dave?
What?
Everybody in the county's going to think Dave took the men out of town on purpose so we could hold it up.
I see, boss.
They'll want to kick the sheriff out of office for letting Dave fool them.
By golly, I never thought of that. Boss, I got a hand for you. That's the slickest thing yet.
And that ain't all. When they throw the sheriff out, most likely they give the badge to that deputy of his.
You mean Lem Moody?
That's the fella.
Why, that bluffer couldn't catch nobody. He ain't no more of a lawman than a sheep herder.
I know it.
And this is what you've been scheming all the time, boss?
Yeah.
Then my hat's off to you. From now on, no matter what you say, I'm for it.
We about close enough to town now? This'll do fine. Oh, boy. Oh, there. Steady, boy.
Good boy.
We'll wait right here until the sheriff gets out of town. They can see us over from here. These trees will hide us. Just as soon as the posse rides out, we're riding in.
Andy Sanders, Dave's brother, was the sheriff of the county. While the outlaws gathered just outside of town, he sat in his office talking to his deputy, Lem Moody. The conversation turned to Dave, and immediately Lem flew into a rage.
Well, Andy, for all of me, you can do as you darn please.
Now, Lem, take it easy. There ain't nothing to get mad about.
I'm getting fed up with the way you're always sticking up for Dave.
And why shouldn't I stick up for him?
Seems to me you forget you're sheriff of this county sometimes.
What's being sheriff got to do with my brother?
Are you deaf that you don't know what folks are saying about him?
Now, listen here, Lem. Dave is a good square kid. He wouldn't do nothing crooked for no amount of money. And as long as I am sheriff, I'm going to see that he gets a fair deal.
Maybe you won't be sheriff so long then.
I've been hearing talk, too. I've been hearing that you'd sort of like to be wearing my badge.
That ain't so, I tell you.
Hey, Andy, I got news for you. Andy, listen to what I got to tell you.
What's the matter, Dave? What's bothering you?
Zach's place was held up by that ornery, low-down crook, Bart Colt.
Bart Colt?
I ain't surprised none.
They shot up Zach and his men, took his cash and most of his cows.
Blast him.
You don't surprise me none. I only been wondering why it ain't happened before.
What are you getting at, Lem?
You're Zach's foreman, ain't you?
Sure I am. And what of it?
Well, there's been some funny talk about you, Dave.
Now, look here,
Let him
Lem.
talk, Andy. I want to hear what he's got to say.
Maybe you want to hear it, maybe you don't, but you're going it just the same.
Well, let's have it.
Remember the time Cal Ransom's money was stolen? He found your hat outside his place?
Keep right on talking.
And the time Sandy Hawkins saw a fellow with a bunch of rustlers, and the fellow looked like you and rode a pinto horse like yours?
Are you saying Dave's an outlaw?
Ain't saying nothing.
Seems to me you've said a lot.
All I am saying is that in the light of them things, it don't surprise me none that everybody out to Zach's place got shot up except you.
Lem, if you wasn't a deputy of
Don't
mine...
pay any attention to him, Andy. I got something more important to talk about.
I bet you have.
What is it, Dave?
I can tell how you can get Bart Colt and his gang.
You mean that?
I sure do.
Now look here, Andy. You ain't going to listen to
Shut up, Lem. I'm handling this. What's it all about, Dave?
That outlaw called Blackie let us slip that the gang is riding to Silver Springs.
Silver Springs.
Yeah. He said it without thinking.
When are they riding there?
Ought to be on their way right now.
Then that's where we're going. I'm tired of the way Bart Colt's been robbing, thieving, and killing. I'm going to get him this time, if it's the last thing I do.
You darn fool. You riding over there and Dave say so?
That's just what I'm doing.
Then you're a bigger blame idiot than I took you for. You're just letting Dave trick you. You're going to find out.
As long as I'm sheriff, you do as I say. Now get moving. Get Tom and Tex and the Mabley brothers. Get every man in town that can carry a gun. We're riding to Silver Springs.
The sheriff was not the only one who wanted to capture the Colt gang. The Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion, Tonto, had been on the trail of the outlaws for several days. We see them as they ride toward the hills that separate Brown's Crossing from Silver Springs.
Tonto, I believe we found the trail of the outlaws at last.
That's all right.
They must have their hideout somewhere in these hills. There's no other place that would serve their purpose. This isn't a trail the ranchers would use, but nevertheless, riders have come this way often. Often enough to kill the grass in spots.
You read trail good.
Not as well as you, Kemosabe. Look, the trail's fading out.
Ground get plenty hard here.
It leads into this dry riverbed.
Maybe we find trail on other side.
Yes, we'll go on. They're bound to pick up the trail again somewhere. Bart Colt and his gang must be captured.
You'll get them all right.
If they're not captured, Sheriff Sanders will be put out of office, and a deputy will take his place. Sanders is a good man, but Lam Moody would be useless against the outlaws. With him in office, they'd have everything their own way.
Look, there.
What do you say, Tonto?
Their trail again.
Those are fresh tracks.
Them go south here.
Yes. They've turned after following the riverbed and have headed for Silver Springs.
That's right.
And if Bart Colt's gang is going in that direction, it means only one thing.
What's that?
They're going to attack the town. Come on, Tonto, we've got to hurry.
Get 'em up, white fella.
Perhaps we can get there in time to stop their raid. Come on, Silver!
Every able-bodied man in Brown's Crossing had responded to the sheriff's call for volunteers. They formed a posse and charged across country to Silver Springs. The sheriff led them into town, stopping at the bank.
Boys, I don't see no sign of trouble. Looks like we beat 'em here.
There sure ain't no outlaws in sight.
I told you this was a darn fool chase.
Hello, Sheriff. What brought all you fellas to town?
Brought a posse to catch Bart Colt.
Bart Colt?
He and his gang held up Zach Andrews' place, then lit out for here.
That's a funny thing. Ain't seen hide nor hair of 'em.
It looks blame funny to me, too.
There can't be no mistake. Dave heard one of the gang say they was coming.
Maybe it was an intended mistake.
Sheriff, I'm beginning to think things look queer, too.
Now listen to
Them
me.
ain't the only one that's been suspicioning things around here about Dave. There's been a heap of talk all over the county. But you would never listen to it. You've been too doggone stubborn.
I ain't gonna take that kind of talk.
Well, I reckon you've got to. We've been letting you have your own way too long.
And that's a fact.
All I've got to say is this. If you
Listen,
go on...
there's a horseman. He's riding in like he's got a plenty important news.
It's Tex.
That's him, all right.
Now, what in tarnation is he doing?
boy.
Sheriff, something awful's happened. Bart Colt's been to Brown's Crossing.
That can't be so.
It is so. I had to hunt up my horse after you left, or I wouldn't have seen him. They come into town just as soon as you and the posse rid out of sight.
What'd them coyotes do?
There ain't nothing they ain't done. When I slipped out of town, they broke into the bank and the general store and the cafe. There was nobody left to stand them off.
Sheriff, it was you and Dave brought us here. It was you that fixed us so they could do their thieving with us gone.
And it was Dave said that Bart was coming to Silver Springs.
But boys, listen to me.
We've been listening to you too blame long.
Maybe you and Dave are both working for Bart Colt.
Fellas, we ought to string him up.
I'm taking your badge, Andy. You're all through being sheriff.
I says to string him up.
String him up.
Go ahead, boys. I ain't standing your way.
There's a good place right outside of town.
Come on, what's the use of wasting time? Let's finish him off and then ride back home.
No, don't do it. We are making a mistake.
Stand back there. Arrest me.
Another outlaw.
Take your hands off those men. I'm the law here. You can't do this. I'll have you do exactly what I tell you. I'll shoot the first man to move.
You got the drop on us now, but we ain't forgetting that white horse. And if we ever catch
You won't. You're coming with me, Sheriff.
Who are you? Why are you helping me out?
I'll explain that later. You ready, Dave?
You bet I am.
Then come on. Hail, Silver!
Get up there.
Get him. Shoot him. Come on, boys. Get after him. Get away after him.
The curtain falls on the first act of tonight's Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments.
Now on with our story. Bart Colt's gang attacked Zach Andrews' ranch and allowed Dave Sanders, one of Zach's men, to hear them plan a raid on Silver Springs. Dave informed his brother, the sheriff. A posse was organized which rode to Silver Springs. As soon as the sheriff left Brown's Crossing, the outlaws raided the town. When news of the attack reached the posse, they accused the sheriff and Dave of being crooked and would have lynched them had they not been saved by the Lone Ranger. Our second act opens as the masked man, accompanied by Tonto, the sheriff, and Dave, attempts once more to pick up the trail of the outlaws.
I know this is where we lost the trail of the outlaws and picked up the trail of the posse by mistake.
So that's how you come to find us in Silver Springs. You was thinking you was following Bart Colt.
Yes.
And darn lucky for us, you did.
Oh, fella, here. They must be. It was in this arroyo where the trail disappeared before. Tonto, I believe I understand. We crossed the arroyo. That's why we discovered the trail of the posse. But the outlaws must have continued up the arroyo.
I'll bet you're right.
You can't see marks of the hoofs on this ground. It's been baked by the sun until it's almost as hard as rock. That's all the more reason to believe the outlaws would come this way.
Say, ain't there some smoke in the air?
There is smoke. Can you tell where it comes from, Kimosabe?
Come from up there.
We must be getting close, Boo.
There's a hollow up ahead where the ground dips out of sight. Now, I
We'll go and
wonder...
foot the rest of the way and see if it is the camp of the outlaws. The timber and underbrush will hide us. You take care. No. This is a good place for Bart to bring his men out of the way from everything.
I lived out here all my life. Never been in this stretch before.
Horses are picketed down in that hollow. Many horse. Nah, keep your voices down. We'll get as close to the camp as we can. We might be able to learn something we can use. Come on quietly.
Well, the sheriff was right. Look at his street for Silver Springs. We just sort of wander into Brown's Crossing and help ourselves. What are we going to do next, boy?
I've been thinking.
Yeah?
I've been doing a heap of thinking about the Yellow King gold mine south of town. The one owned by them Easterners.
Well, that's a mighty rich outfit. Don't come no richer. I hear they've been taking close to 100,000 a year out of that hole in the ground.
They got their own smelter.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Turn the ore into gold, put the bars into their own storehouse.
By golly, that's right. Well, I'd forgot about that. But ain't that kind of risky? The sheriff rides over that way pretty often to keep an eye on things.
And he ain't the sheriff no more.
Unless I miss my guess. But Lem Moody is.
Lem Moody. He ain't gonna stir out of town unless he's got a mighty good reason. After what we done to Brown's Crossing, he don't dare.
Yeah, that's right.
I got rid of Andy. We fixed it so that slow-thinking Lem is sheriff.
You think it's safe to ride the mine?
Ain't nothing safer.
When do we ride?
Well, I'll tell you, boys, I believe in fast action. We done a lot of things today. We raided Zach Andrews. We cleaned out the town, so no one's going to be expecting us to do anything else real soon. So I says we ought to get after the Yellow King first thing in the morning.
Whatever you say is good enough for us, boss.
And that's what we're doing. The mine's about 10 miles from here across country. We'll get started about sunup. Before them dudes get to sleep out in our eyes, we're going to have so much gold that maybe we won't ever have to do any more robbing at all.
Did you hear that, Tonto? Me here. We'd better get back to our horses.
Gosh, if only I was still sheriff.
But you ain't, Andy. And the way folks feel about us, maybe you won't ever be again.
Andy, do you believe Lem can be persuaded to set a trap for Bart at the mine?
Him? Bart Colt's pretty slick. He had Lem sized up right. It'll take a heap to make Lem ride out of town with a posse.
And the worst of it is, Bart's been given the law so many false leads that even if Lem wanted to, he couldn't believe any of them.
That's going to make it hard.
Yeah.
But perhaps there's something we can do.
What's that?
If me and Andy can help you, just say the word.
You will be able to help. But the first part of the plan will depend upon Tonto and myself.
Me do what you say.
We'll find a safe place to camp, and then we'll decide exactly what to do.
You do the thinking, friend, and we'll do what you tell us.
You've saved our lives. So I reckon me and Andy owes you more than we can find words for.
The important thing now is to get our plan worked out. Come on,
Get him up,
Silver.
White. Get up there, get on.
And his companions made their camp in the hills, then completed their plans for the capture of the outlaws. That evening, in the cafe at Brown's Crossing, the new sheriff, Lem Moody, was sitting at a table with a group of his friends, discussing Bart Colt's latest raid.
Boys, what them outlaws did to this town is a caution.
5,000 from the bank, all the liquor from the cafe, and food and ammunition aplenty from the general store.
And it was Dave's trick that made them things happen.
You mean the trick Dave played on Andy?
Maybe Andy was fooled and maybe he wasn't. I've got my own ideas on that.
You think Andy was in on the scheme, too?
Maybe and maybe not. But I'm telling you, fellas, one thing for sure. Nobody's going to make a fool out of me that way. Bart Colt's been planning all kinds of fake leads for us to follow. But now he's going to find that he's up against an hombre that's just as smart as he is.
Me one get through here.
What's the engine want?
You sheriff?
Sure, I'm the sheriff. Can't you see my badge?
Me got news for you.
What kind of news?
Me tell you what outlaw do.
Who? Bart Colt's gang?
That right.
I want to hear this. Go ahead, Injun. What are them sidewinders going to do?
Them ride to Briggs Ranch.
Say Briggs outfit, huh? And how come you to know so much?
Outlaw feller not see me, but me hear what outlaw feller say.
Overheard their plans, huh?
That right.
And you want me to take a posse to Briggs' place and catch them crooks?
You do that?
Damn, you aren't going to
Don't you go to worrying, Tex. I'll handle this. You sure you heard right, Redskin?
Me sure.
Well, let me see. I could get the boys together and be waiting for Bart when he shows up. Wouldn't be no stunt at all to corral his whole bunch.
You go, you get outlaw.
By thunderation, Lem, if you're going to let yourself be hornswoggled like
Just
Andy...
you hold on. All right, Redskin. Thanks for the tip. I'll take everybody I can get hold of and lay for them coyotes out to the ranch.
That good thing. Me go now.
Look here, Injun.
Still, Tex. Let the Redskin go.
Huh? What in tarnation's got into you?
You didn't figure I fell for that stunt, did you?
But you said
Sure, I let him think so. No use tipping my hand to one of Bart's men. But I got a scheme.
Yeah?
I'm going to follow that engine. And I got a hunch the Redskin will take me just where I want to go.
All right, let's see what that redskin's going to do. Sure we will. Maybe we might find something out about it.
That you, fella? Did you see the sheriff? Me tell him. But sheriff feller not believe Tonto.
Wait. Someone followed you out. I saw him when he hid behind that tree over there.
Oh, that sheriff feller.
Good. I was afraid that we'd have to allow ourselves to be overheard at the window of the cafe. This is even better.
You tell Lem Moody that Bart will attack the Briggs Ranch? Tonto do that. Did he say he'd send a posse there? Fool him plenty. Him go to ranch, all right. And there's no danger that Lawman will be near the Yellow King gold mine. Them far away from there. Bart will be glad to hear that. He knew if he could trick the other sheriff, it'd be easier to trick this one. That's right. Bart's scheme worked just the way he said it would. Lem will take his posse to the ranch. But at 6 in the morning, we'll raid the mine while the lawmen are miles in the other direction. That's plenty funny thing.
Lem's going back. He's heard all that he needs to hear. He'll go back to the cafe and tell the men he's learned Bart's real plans.
That's what him do.
We've played our part, Kimasabi. Now we can only wait until morning. Here, Silver.
White feller.
We'll return to camp. And Dave will be waiting for us.
Men good feller.
They're both fine men, Tonto. Yep. Let's hope that we can help them. Come on, Silver.
White feller.
The night passed slowly for the group that shared the Lone Ranger's camp. But morning came at last, and with the first light of dawn, they saddled their horses and rode toward the Yellow King mine.
Come on, Silver! Tonto, our plan works. This will mean the finish of our Colt's game.
Wonder if Lem will get there with the boys.
We'll know before long. Come on,
The outlaws had started for the Yellow King earlier than the masked man had expected. They charged down upon the mine while the still sleeping men lay at their mercy. The key to the storehouse was taken from the foreman, and Colt's men began loading the bars of gold.
Come on, get a move on. Let's load the gold and let out for camp. Earn the best we can, boss.
This is sure heavy work.
Never seen gold that wasn't heavy. No, I never seen gold that wouldn't buy just about anything a man could want.
What's that? It's a fellow on a white horse.
And men with him. They're shooting at us. We gotta get out of here. We can't. They're blocking the only way we can go. Get back into the storehouse. Run for cover.
There's only 4. Let's rush them.
Most likely there's more behind. Do as I tell you. Get in the storehouse. Come on. Please, they stopped just beyond gunshot. Fire at them anyway. Maybe we can hit them. Yeah. Them 4 fellas, we'll be all right. Any more coming, we're sunk. And there is more coming. Boss, what do we do? Hurry around, take it for a change. They've joined up with them first fellas. And now they're all coming down this way. Oh, we ain't got a chance. I'm not going to be shot down like a dog. I'm going to give myself up. Come back here. I'm giving myself up, I'm telling you. I ain't going to get killed. You're right. Surrender, we'll shoot the whole bunch. Worry about those shooting me, too. Hey, there goes Bart, around the back. Hit him. We got him, man. Good. We got the whole shebang. We got Bart and the engine and Dave and Andy. We ain't missed a one.
Clem, maybe you're wrong about something.
What's that?
Andy and the masked fella and the rest of them were holding the outlaws here when we come up. They weren't with Bart at all.
That's right, Clem. I've seen it all.
Hey, what's the idea?
I can explain.
The masked man.
Andy and Dave were both honest. It wasn't their fault that they were tricked before. But you wouldn't believe them. They were trying to get Andy's job.
That ain't so. I wasn't
Listen to me. Dave and Andy were with me when we learned the plans of the outlaw. But we knew you'd be too stubborn to believe us that we told you the truth.
I reckon none of us would have believed the stranger.
So we tricked you twice.
Huh?
First, my friend here told you that the outlaws would raid the ranch belonging to Briggs. Then he let you, Lem, follow him and overhear the plan to raid the mine.
You mean you seen me?
We knew you were listening.
Lem, he was only half as smart as Andy. He only got fooled that way once. But they tricked you double, all in the same evening.
Andy, as far as I'm concerned, you're still the sheriff. And I guess we all know now that Dave had nothing to do with the outlaw.
Thanks, fellas. But it was the masked man that done it all. If it hadn't been for him, Bart would be raiding yet, and me and Dave would probably have been strung up.
Come on, Silver, old boy. There's danger ahead. We're riding against Blackjack Martin. Hail, Silver!
Just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
course with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The heroic deeds and actions of the famous Masked Rider of Justice live on and on, despite the fact that the history of the United States does not record any of his stirring adventures. Today we thrill to another daring ride with the phantom figure of the plains. Here he comes astride the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! We must hurry, old fellow! We're needed in the town of Bixby! Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
The town of Bixby was a typical mining community of the Old West, supplying the necessary equipment of the prospectors and providing recreation for those who had struck it rich enough to patronize the many cafes lining the main street. Lem Purvis, a seasoned veteran of the hills, was celebrating the sale of his gold claim. And as the action of our story begins, we see him surrounded by a number of his friends. The Lone Ranger, unmasked but wearing a disguise, is also present.
Just step right up, boys. The drinks is on me.
Come on, boys, step up. Lem Purvis is buying.
What's the celebration?
Lem sold his mine.
Got $200 for it.
Come on, join the fun.
Lem's luck has changed, sure enough.
Won't Tom Gordon be surprised when he hears about it?
He ought to be. Told me this here sample of ore wasn't no good. Told me my mine was worthless. First worthless mine I seen to pay $200.
Have you had the ore, Saint?
Yes, stranger. It ain't even worth the effort of digging it out in the ground.
What do you mean?
I mean it ain't what it looks. It ain't no good. But that Eastern dude, Carter Dodson, bought my mine lock, stock, and barrel when he seen this here sample.
How do you know the sample is worthless?
How'd I know? That's a good one. I took it to the assay office and had the assay clerk, Tom Gordon, test it for me. That's how.
And Gordon, he said the mine weren't worth working.
When Carter Dodson offered to buy your mine, did he know about the assay?
Of course not. Dodson come snooping around with that sneering way of his and thought he was putting something over on me, buying the mine for what he paid. And I just shut up and let him talk himself into buying it.
Never did like that Dodson fellow, no how.
He's got it coming to him. About time he was given a little of his own medicine.
Slicked up Easterner.
Carter Dodson represents a gold mining syndicate, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right, stranger.
Has he been here long?
Nope, come from the east about 2 months ago. He's been trying all sorts of tricks on the boys here.
I'd like to see his face when he finds out that Betsy Ann is worthless.
He'd sure be mad.
He might come gunning for you, Lem.
No chance of that. He's an Easterner, ain't he?
May I see that sample of ore?
Shucks, stranger. No reason why not. Here it is.
Say, I ain't seen you around these parts afore, have I?
I don't suppose you have.
You seem powerful interested in things, and you sort of talk like an Easterner. You ain't a friend of Carter Dodson, are you?
I don't know, Dodson. That's strange.
What do you mean?
This ore is rich.
No, it ain't, stranger. All 'tis is fool's gold. I thought it was gold at first, but it ain't.
This is not fool's gold.
I had it tested, I tell you. There's Tom Gordon heading this way. He can prove it. He's in the assay office.
Tom, come here. Lem wants you.
I'm coming. Hey, Lem.
Gosh, he's excited about something.
Tom, listen, we've
You
been
listen.
talking of...
That ore of yours.
what about that ore?
I don't know how to say it.
Well,
What is it? What's the matter?
I made a mistake, Lem.
A mistake?
Yeah, an awful mistake. I gave you the wrong assay.
The wrong assay? You mean on my mine?
Yeah.
You found Lem's ore to be valuable after all?
That's right, stranger. Lem, I don't know what to say about it. I heard about you selling the Betsy Ann.
You mean to tell me the Betsy Ann is worth something?
Yeah, that's just it. It's worth a lot, Lem.
I can't believe it.
It's the truth. I wouldn't have had it happen for nothing. But
How valuable is the Betsy Ann?
I reckon the ore run over $25 a ton.
And I sold the hull claim to Dodson for $200.
I wish I'd have found out sooner. I sure do, Lem.
You wish? Why, you
Lem,
don't...
you better watch out.
So, you made a mistake.
Yeah, I told you that
Seems to me that's a pretty good mistake you made for the Easterner.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. Dodson stands to make thousands of dollars out in my mine.
Yeah, but
And with 2 days around the assay office, you didn't find out the mistake till I'd signed over the mine.
I know. But, Lem...
Shut up! You don't make much money on that job of yours, Gordon. You might be able to stand a little extra cash, mightn't you?
Lem, you...
I've been slaving for years to get a good claim, living from hand to mouth. And then you make a mistake. I've been robbed, that's what. You robbed me of my rightful money.
Careful, Lem.
You keep out of this, stranger. I'm beginning to catch on to things around here.
He's got a gun! Lem, don't shoot. You can't do it. I ain't got a gun with me. You can't shoot me down.
You change them samples of purpose, and you'll pay for it. You can't rob Lem Purvis and get away with it.
Lem, put down your gun.
I won't. Gordon, you're gonna pay.
No!
My hand, you shot me.
You're not hurt, Lem. I simply knocked your gun out of your hand.
I could have got that crook if you hadn't interfered.
You'd shot Tom Gordon. You'd have hung for murder.
But he stole from me.
You've no proof of that. It's your word against his.
That's right. I swear it was a mistake.
A darn convenient one for Dodson.
Yeah.
Quiet! Gordon, whose report did you confuse with Lem's?
Jeff Saunders, mister. He'll be powerful disappointed when he finds out his mine ain't worth nothing after all.
Disappointed? That's a mild word for what he'll be, Tom.
Maybe he can still take that offer Dodson made him.
What offer?
Dodson offered him $1,000 for his mine, but Jeff laughed at him. If Dodson don't know about the mix-up yet, maybe Jeff can take up that offer.
Are you going to tell Jeff about it?
You're darn right, mister, and I'm going to do that same now. I just hope I'm in time. It's some ride to his place.
$200.
I reckon I'll clear out myself.
Hold on, Gordon. I got more to say to you.
Take it easy, Lem.
I'll see you when it cool off, Lem. Trouble with you is you got a low boiling point.
Dad read it. I bet he done it a purpose. If only I was sure.
You'd never find out by shooting him. Let him go. See what happens next.
When Tom Gordon left the cafe, the Lone Ranger followed the young man. On his way, he met Tonto and told the Indian what he'd overheard in the cafe. Together, they continued after Tom until the young man stopped at a house some distance ahead.
He's stopping at the Widow Sims' place, Kemosabe. That's where Carter Dodson is staying.
That's right.
We'll leave our horses here and go on foot. I want to hear what Gordon tells Dodson. Oh, Silver. Oh, boy.
Oh, hi, fella. Oh.
We must go carefully, Tonto. If he sees us, we'll learn nothing.
That's right.
He's going inside now.
Dodson feller opened the door.
Yes, I see him. Quiet, Tonto. We haven't much farther to go.
We get near window.
Careful. Gordon seems to be excited. Must be telling Dodson everything that happened in the cafe. Here we are. Listen, Tonto.
If that stranger in the cafe hadn't shot Lem's gun away before Lem had a chance to shoot me...
A stranger? Who was he?
I didn't find out.
Oh, what'd he interfere for?
I don't know that either.
I guess that isn't important anyhow. What else made you think these miners suspect our scheme?
Why, nothing else.
Then why did you come here?
I had to warn you.
Warn me that a miner was angry when he heard his mine hadn't panned out like he wanted it to?
Why,
Get some sense, Tom. Things are working out just like I planned.
But I don't see how you figure that.
Lem Purvis simply lost his head when he heard the mine he'd sold to me for $200 was worth a lot more.
He called me a crook.
Did the rest of the men call you a crook, too?
No.
Then don't worry about it.
All right.
As long as you stick to your story, they'll think Lem's raving mad about losing money. They may think you're stupid, but they won't think you're crooked. And even if they do, they can't prove it.
Leastways, not till we've cleaned up and got out of here.
That's right.
And how about Jeff Salter? You think it's all right to go on like we planned about him?
Why not?
You don't think he'll get suspicious about the mixed essays?
Our scheme is foolproof. No one can prove anything against us. You made a mistake, and I was lucky enough to cash in on it. And that's all.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
Jeff Salter owns one of the richest mines in the region. And Lem Purvis's mine is almost as good.
Yeah.
You made Lem Purvis think his mine was worthless, and he sold it to me for $200.
I know that, but
Then you claim you got the essays mixed, and tell Jeff his claim is worthless.
And Jeff takes you up on that $1,000 offer you made him.
Right. He'll think he's putting one over on me by taking me up on the offer before I find out his mine is no good.
It's a plenty slick scheme, Dodson.
We'll pay Jeff Salter the $1,000, and then when we have the deeds, we'll clear out.
Then send men back here to work the mines, and we collect the profit?
Exactly. If they ever realize they've been swindled, we'll be so far away they'll never catch up with us.
When are we clearing out?
All we're waiting for is to get the Salter claim. I told him I'd call on him today to see if he'd change his mind about selling.
Yeah?
I'll start out for his place in about an hour. That will give that friend of his time to get to him and tell him his mine is worthless.
Yeah.
As soon as he signs over the papers, we'll start for the east.
We can't be stopped now.
No.
And we get 2 valuable mines for just $1,200.
Mines that'll yield us a fortune. We'll be rich. You'd better ride over to Salter's with me.
Well, if he sees me...
He doesn't have to see you. You can stay back a ways. But I don't want you too far from me until this is all settled.
Why?
I don't want you to get scared again and get out of control. You're riding with me. We're leaving in an hour. And you're staying right here till we do. Now we'll get our horses, and then we'll get over to
Tonto, did you hear what they said?
Me here.
We must get back to our horses quickly. There's no time to lose.
You got plan?
I have an idea, Tonto, that might work. If we just told Jeff Salter about the scheme, we'd save his mine, but that wouldn't help Lem Purvis. What we must do is find some way to jail those crooks.
That's right.
Here, Silver.
White feller.
We'll go out and call on Jeff Salter, and then, Kimosabe, you'll talk to Carter Dodson. Is my mask tight? Good. Come on, then, Tonto. Yep. It's a long ride to Jeff Salter's mine. Come on, Silver.
The curtain falls on the first act of our thrilling Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Carter Dodson of an eastern mining syndicate And Tom Gordon, the assay clerk in the town of Bixby, plotted to cheat Lem Purvis and Jeff Salter out of their claims by substituting false reports on the value of their mines. Lem, believing his claim worthless, sold to Dodson. But the Lone Ranger and Tonto overheard the plot to get Salter's mine in a similar manner and decided to do something about it. We hear their horses coming to a stop in front of Salter's mine.
Oh, Silver. Oh, boy. Steady.
Who's there? Is it Dodson?
I want to talk to you, Mr. Salter.
A masked man.
A mask means nothing.
It means just one thing to me, mister. Outlaw. You and that redskin are after my gold, ain't you?
No, we're not, Jeff.
Then why'd you come here masked?
You had an offer to buy your mine, didn't you, Jeff?
Yeah, and what about it?
Are you planning to accept the offer?
What difference does it make to you whether I sell my mine or not?
Just this, Salter. You heard that your assay was mixed up and your mine really worthless, didn't you?
Yeah, but how?
What you heard is not true.
What do you mean?
I mean that it's a scheme to get your mine for a fraction of its actual worth.
You mean it's a put-up job between Dodson and Tom Gordon?
Exactly.
Why, those dirty... Wait a minute, mister. How do I know you're telling the truth? Where do you come in?
You'll have to take my word for it, Jeff.
Then all you're doing is warning me?
Not quite.
Huh. I might have known a masked man...
Wait. I told you I wanted to warn you against the thieves, but I also want your help.
My help? What can I do?
I have a plan to catch those crooks so they'll not be able to swindle other people. I want you to help me.
Darndest thing I ever see. Masked and not an outlaw. Helping people and wanting nothing for it. I like your style, mister. Tell me what you want me to do, and we'll see about doing it.
All right then, Jeff. Listen carefully. Here's the plan I have in mind.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto left the old prospector shortly before Dodson arrived. The Easterner did not suspect that his plans were known.
Whoa there. Whoa. Hello, Salter. I'm here just as I told you I'd be. Have papers with me and everything, all set to sign. I'm sure you thought this thing over carefully.
I have.
That's good. You can't go far wrong on taking $1,000 for this mine of yours, Salter. Of course, it is worth a bit more, but...
It's worth a darn sight more than 1,000 to me, Dodson.
Huh?
I told you I'd thought it over. And I still say you ain't buying this here mine.
But I thought...
Never mind what you thought. I ain't selling. And just to show you how much I'm backing on this here mine, I'll tell you something.
What's that?
Tom Gordon made a mistake in assaying the mine, and now he says it ain't worth a cent.
You mean...
In spite of that, I'm still holding on to it.
But if it's worthless...
You won't get it, worthless or not.
But I don't see what...
I ain't selling. Now get.
Very well, Salter. But you may change your mind before very long. Get up there. Come on, get up. Oh, fool. Get up there, get up. So I won't get it. We'll see about that. Can't afford to let Salter's mine slip through my fingers. Now, there's Tom coming to meet me.
Oh, there. Oh, boy. Steady, boy. Well, Dodson, is everything all set?
All set nothing.
What do you mean?
That old fool Salter won't sell his mine.
Won't sell?
No.
What went wrong, Dodson?
Salter doesn't seem to believe the story. He still thinks his mine is worth something. He told me he wouldn't sell for any price.
What are we going to do now?
I don't know. There must be some way to get hold of that mine. What's that?
I don't know. Sounded like something moving.
It was right over there.
Hey, look.
It's a man. He's heard what we said. Get him out of there.
You come out of them bushes and keep your hands high.
Me come.
A redskin. Can you understand English?
Me savvy. Me here. You talk about gold mine.
A smart Indian.
Maybe me help you.
What do you mean? How could you help?
You want mine?
Yes, that's right. What were you thinking of?
Maybe feller take trip.
Maybe he could. A nice long trip. I was thinking about that myself.
You mean that...
I mean we can't argue that old coot out of his mind. But there's one way of getting hold of it that's sure.
You wouldn't...
That mine's worth any risk, Gordon. If Jeff Salter was to disappear...
You'd let this Injun murder him?
That's exactly what I'd do.
Me fix Salter. You maybe pay me?
I thought you might be hired.
But Dodson, murder...
What the Indian does won't involve us. With Salter out of the way, we can get his mine.
How?
You will see that folks think he signed his mine over to us and left town.
But if they don't believe it, if we're caught, we'll hang. Murder's nothing to fool with.
We won't get caught.
I don't like it, Dodson.
I don't care whether you like it or not. Do as I say. Now listen carefully.
Yeah?
I have it all figured out. The Indian will go back to the mine now and take care of Jeff Salter. You understand, Indian?
Me savvy.
I'll pay you when you've got the job done. Tom, we'll ride back to town.
Yeah?
We'll take the bill of sale with us. You'll sign Jeff Salter's name.
Forge it?
Of course. Then you act as if you'd been hunting for me all day to tell me about the mixing up of the two essays and ask me if I bought Jeff's mine.
What for?
When you ask me about the mine, I'll show you the paper as proof that I bought it.
Yeah?
Then I'll go into a rage about being swindled out of $1,000 by Salter.
And then?
We'll go to the sheriff. Take him out to call on Jeff Salter. When they don't find any trace of him, they'll think he skipped town with my $1,000 cash.
I see.
Then you leave town, and I'll have someone else make an essay on mine and find it might pay me to keep the papers Jeff Salter signed.
What about the engine?
Redskin, you're not to leave any trace of Jeff's things. Take them all away.
Me do.
You'll get what's coming to you after we get that mine.
When Dodson returned to town, it was taken for granted he had bought Salter's mine without realizing its worthlessness. Dodson, relying upon this impression, stormed into the sheriff's office.
It cheated me, Sheriff.
Maybe so, maybe not.
He did. He knew that mine was worthless when he sold it to me.
Can you prove that, Dodson?
I'll prove it, all right. I'll prove it if you'll come out there with me.
Well,
All of you come. I'm going to have the law on Jeff Salter. He can't swindle me like this. Are you coming or not?
All right, Dodson. Reckon I'll have to. That there bill of sale looks binding, though.
It won't be if we can prove a swindle. If he confesses.
We'll see. Come on, boys. We'll go call on Jeff. Anything to please this gentleman. It wouldn't do for an Eastern dude to be swindled.
It's different when the shoe's on the other foot, ain't it, Dodson?
Come on, let's go. Get on your horses.
I'm coming, too. It'll be right enjoyable seeing Dodson face Jeff Salter.
I'll prove I'm right. Come on. Tom Gordon has to come, too. He's the one can prove that Jeff Salter knew about that mine.
Yeah, I'm coming, Dodson. Get up there. Come on, boy. Get up there, boy. Come on.
There's the mine now. Your mine, Dodson.
Looks kind of deserted, don't it?
Jeff was in that shack by the mine entrance when I left.
He ain't around there now. Maybe he's inside the shack or down in the mine. Hold it. Whoa.
Jeff Salter.
He don't answer.
We'd better look around inside.
Yeah, you look in the shack, and I'll take a look in the tunnel.
Maybe he's run out with the money.
Don't go speculating. We find out for sure where he is.
Sheriff.
Yeah?
Sheriff, Jeff's things is mostly cleaned out of the cabin. His tools are gone. So is his extra clothes.
Is he in the mine?
Jeff's not in the mine, Sheriff. I called down the tunnel and didn't get no answer.
That proves he swindled me. That proves it.
It don't prove anything of the sort. Since Jeff ain't around here to talk for himself, Dodson, I'm afraid you're going to have to keep this mine.
Keep it?
That there paper looks legal enough, and I don't see there's a thing I can do about it.
But if Tom Gordon tells you
Reckon that signed paper means more than Gordon's word. This is your claim now. I reckon we can start back for town, boys.
What's that? Sounded like stones sliding in the tunnel.
I'm going to see.
Yeah, sure. Let's all.
Come on, Dodson. We'll see what's going on in there.
Yes, sure. Come on, Gordon.
It's an engine.
What's he doing here?
Drag him out.
What were you doing in Jeff Salter's mine?
Me not tell.
Maybe he was stealing ore.
Maybe Jeff didn't run off after all. Maybe this redskin killed him.
That's right.
Make him talk. Where's Jeff?
What about it, Injun?
You better talk. Because we ain't none too friendly with redskins in these parts.
Dodson, feller, tell me, come here.
take care of Salter.
That's a lie. If anything's happened to Jeff Salter, he did it.
Yeah, the Injun planned it. He's the one.
Shut up, you fool.
And there was a plan to kill Salter.
Yes, no. But Tom Gordon was talking to the redskin. Maybe he planned to kill Salter.
What? It was Dodson's idea. He wanted Salter's mine. It was him schemed it all. He schemed to get Lem Purvis' mine, and then schemed to kill Salter to get his.
Sheriff, he's lying.
I ain't lying. He made me sign Jeff's name to that bill of sale, and he hired the engine to kill Jeff.
You double-crosser!
Shut up, Dodson. So you swindled Lem Purvis out of his mind.
I
killed Jeff to get his.
That's right, Sheriff. He did it all.
Tie him up, boys.
I got a rope right
You gotta prove Jeff's dead.
We can jail you for forging his name to the bill of sale. We don't need to find Jeff.
Have you evidence enough to convict them without murder, Sheriff?
Who are you? If you're one of them,
I'm not one of them. I asked you if you could jail them without proving murder.
Jail them and hang them. All three of them blame schemers.
You can't hold the Indian, Sheriff.
Who says I can't?
He's done nothing wrong.
He's the one suggested that...
Jeff!
Hey,
Jeff ain't dead.
Here I am, boys. I was in that tunnel, too. What the masked man says is right.
What are you doing here? You're supposed to be dead.
Well, I ain't. You see, Sheriff, this masked man and his friend got me to helping them show that Dodson Tom Gordon was crook.
Why, you sakes.
And I reckon he done it.
He sure did. They won't need no mines where they're going. You and Lem are sure lucky the masked man and that engine showed up. Say, where did they get to? Hey, hold on, you two. Come on, Silver! Stretch out those great legs of yours! Thomas waiting on the trail ahead! Hi-yo, Silver!
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger, Incorporated.